We are Gathering of the Geeks, podcast and YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag we gather on Sundays, unless it's Christmas. Thank you for checking out the one where it's the last show of 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Ted Lasso to my coach Beard, Chris Evans. Chris, very, very nice intro.
Yeah, I snuck that on you.
You snuck that in on me. Very good.
I thought that'd be fun.
How's it going tonight?
It's going. How about you?
Yeah, going good. Gathering of the Geeks. It's available on YouTube and wherever you get your fine podcasts. Just search for Gathering of the Geeks and you'll find us right there. What's up, Ian, Cookie, Chris, Grabs, Phil, Eric? How's everybody doing on this fine Sunday evening? Chris, it's our last show of 2023. We got Christmas Eve is next Sunday, and then New Year's Eve is the Sunday after that. So, you know, whatever you got to say for this year, get all your airing of the grievances out. As this is the last time you're going to be able to do that.
Airing of the grievances.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll have to get back to you on that because I don't know if I have any. I'll think about it though.
The lead up to Christmas, I got plenty of problems with people. Like how stressful it is.
I think it's the best time to air out the grievances because you get a pass. Like, oh, well,
that's
he's
right.
stressed out for Christmas.
Yeah, that's right. Oh dear. Emmet just went through Walmart. It was a Saturday. He was just stuck in line for 20 hours trying to buy a goddamn toy.
It'll be worth it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Emmett's not dressed up as Santa. What a missed opportunity. Has the beard and the belly.
I agree with you on one of those things, and it's not the beard.
It's that you should have dressed up as Santa?
Yeah, that's right. No, it's I have the belly.
Oh.
I have the jolliness of Santa, the physical natures of it, not the attitude. That's definitely for sure.
I did consider a Santa hat tonight, but then I decided against it.
Yeah, anytime I think about wanting to wear a hat, I just realize I get so hot, and then I don't want to wear anything. So
it's that Canadian cold that you have there.
Well, it sucks right now because like it's been raining for the last like 4 days and been like plus temperature, so we have no snow. Like all of our snow we had, it's all gone. We're not gonna have a white Christmas. It's such a bummer, man. No white Christmas.
I want to say this. That we could create a new hashtag for this: Canadian problems. You know, here in Dallas today it was 73 degrees. So I think the idea of a white Christmas is something we only see on TV.
That's right.
And at this point, it's only in black and white films because it's not even a
black and white films.
Yes, we don't. Snow is just not a thing on Christmas. Yeah. It's more common that you can have like a polo shirt and shorts on Thanksgiving if that's your thing.
Yeah. Well, I just remember last year, like on Christmas Eve, we got 4 feet of snow overnight. Like we woke up on Christmas and there was 4 feet of snow. And like now this year we just won't have any. Just lousy weather.
Grab says thank you for wearing clothes.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Ian says he could be an elf.
I agree with that.
If Emmet was your Santa, that would be something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that scene from Jingle All the Way. I'm going to deck your halls, bub.
Yeah, bub. Yeah.
Eric says it's been raining over there in Tampa.
Oh, there you go.
He says last white Christmas in the UK was in the 80s. Tokyo is never. Phil says the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. No.
No singing? No Christmas caroling at Christmas airs?
Well, you know what? If anybody wants to do Christmas carols, we'll go ahead and invite them on.
Yeah, we'll leave.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I do enjoy Christmas songs, though.
Yeah. Oh, I do, too. Yeah.
He is St. Nick. I don't know about that. 21 degrees Celsius here, which sucks for Christmas.
Wow.
I think that's like 60 degrees here.
No, that's warmer than that.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's around 70.
You guys and your fancy Celsius.
Hey, he's on the other side of the world.
You guys all that fancy Celsius. We're all about Fahrenheit down here. Smiling is my favorite thing. We had a white Christmas last year, but it's been in the 50s so far this year. Here it's been like 60s in the day, and then at night it'll drop to 40 or something. But
And I think I asked you this last year about like heating in your house. Would you own like winter boots? Is that a thing in Mid Texas? No, not even.
No, I have a larger coat that I love, but I wear it once or twice a year.
Hmm.
It's just unnecessary. I mostly live in that hoodie you guys have seen me in, the black and gray. I kind of live in that for the winter.
Yeah,
So
that's fair. All right, Chris, what'd you get up to this week? Last week we didn't have much to talk about, and we vowed to have more to talk about this week.
did
Did
we
you
really
do? Did
vow
you do?
though?
I vowed because I didn't watch anything, and our show was only 45 minutes long. So, did you do some homework this week, Chris? Did you catch up on some things? Did you read some things? Did you watch some things?
I did a lot of things. I read so much Moon Knight. I think I am Mark Spector, or I'm one of Mark Spector's alters now.
Yeah, that's right. He may be dead, but you are alive.
I am one of them. Yes, I'm not Jake or Steve, and I'm my own creature. Um, I actually, really though, I read 15 issues of Moon Knight.
Craziness.
I wanted to see what happened. As you guys know, the Moon Knight run from Jed McKay, the main run, ended this Wednesday. So I was behind a bit. Wanted to see what happened.
A bit.
So a bit. So I went back and read the ones that I missed, and then I was able to read Moon Knight number 30, which I mentioned on Twitter is pretty spectacular. I think it's not often that you get a totally solid run of any character from a single writer. It has happened before. I think some would say Scott Snyder's Batman run is flawless. I'm not exactly in that camp, but I'm using that as an example. This run, though, to me is pretty flawless. I think it is great for a new reader who's not familiar with the character, who wants to read Moon Knight. It's great for that. And it's just got a really interesting story in the way it breaks down. And it also brings a really good supporting cast to Moon Knight, which he doesn't usually have. So it's not a team book, of course, and he's not Batman with a Bat family, but he kind of is now, in a way. He's got a Moon family. and the finale itself, issue number 30, really put the exclamation point on the whole run, I would say, because it ends beautifully. And it has a lot of callbacks if you've kept up with the series and not just binged it in, a couple of days. There's a lot of great callbacks. The art is beautiful. The story is really good. There is a twist that I think is a little underwhelming.
In 30?
Well, it happens before 30.
Okay.
But in 30, you get it. I think 30 makes that twist work in a way. So, also, Ian is in the chats. We need to see if he is in the same room as Mark Spector at any point because they look identical.
Well, that was from a couple of issues ago. I think that came out.
It happened again.
Yeah.
I had to send it. Yeah, I had to send it to him. He looks identical to Ian. It's amazing.
So weird.
Yeah. So I read that.
So you said it's the most accessible Moon Knight of all the Moon Knights for. So in saying that, does that mean it's the less weird of all of them? I've only read one Moon Knight run. I've only read the Lemire run, and it's weird as shit.
No, it's got some weird stuff, but not as weird as Lemire. I'd say Lemire and Bendis are the weirdest. Right. This run is not as weird, but you still have a haunted house that eats people.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
And a villain who drinks sweat. So. Or I'm sorry, no, you drink his sweat.
What is this, AEW?
Something like that. You drink his sweat and he can mind control you.
Holy cow.
Oh, it's something. It gets weird, but not as weird as the other ones.
Okay.
And I think even if you watch the Moon Knight series, you could still read this and you'll get it. Like if you had what I mean is like if you had that preconceived, oh, that's Moon Knight, you could still read this and enjoy it.
Yeah, I've seen, and you're not the only one that I've seen say that this is a top tier Moon Knight run either. And like you were saying that fairly early, I believe, as well.
With the first 15,
the first 6 or first 12 issues, I remember you were very high on it. And so to keep it up for the next 15 issues after that, that's quite the feat. 30 issues isn't nothing. That's a lot of issues for an ongoing.
And I would say, especially with a character like this, who isn't the most well known.
Sure. I haven't
Yeah.
read I don't know. The ending for the 30 was this big reveal that Mark Spector's dead, but there's the main Moon Knight series is done now, but now they've got this other thing. What is it, City of Shadows or
No, Vengeance of Moon Knight starts next month.
okay,
and that's with a new Fist of Khonshu.
Oh, okay. Do you know anything about that? Who it is and what it is?
We don't know. All we've
okay.
seen is the costume, and he has a new weapon, or they have a new weapon.
Yeah.
Not really sure who it is, but.
And what do you think about that idea? Like, we've had different Batmans. You know, Dick Grayson's been Batman. Azrael has been Batman. What do you think about having a new Moon Knight per se?
New Moon Knight doesn't exactly bother me for two reasons. One, it's comics, no one stays dead. Yep. Two, the idea of Moon Knight is that the mantle can be passed on because he's just the current Fist of Khonshu. So I'm okay with them switching it up when they feel like it. And I'm sure it'll come back to Mark anyway.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Grab says 30 issues isn't nothing. It's 2.5 years. Yeah, he put some time into this book.
I was going to say, when was the first issue?
I want to say it was 21, I guess. I think it'd be 21 now. But it was, he hit the ground running and he kept going. And he's even written other stuff since, like he's written the Doctor Strange book, which was really good. I read some of it. You know, McKay is a good writer, I think.
Yeah, July 21st, 2021.
It's a beautiful July.
So it's been, that's a lot of issues. Holy cow.
Long time. Yeah, this is actually one I think I want the omnibus for.
Yeah, I was going to say that'll be a nice nice hardcover, or probably not a hardcover if it's going to be that big, but
yeah, I'd want all 30, so this might be the one I do the big one.
Nice.
Let's get to some comments for a second here. Grab says I vowed once to my wife, never again. Ian is currently out Christmas shopping, so stressful. He's jumping in and out, but always listening. Phil says I have to say Wonka's pure imagination, better than I expected. I didn't get to it this week, but we'll talk about it. Ian says Dark Knights of Steel Volume 2 and Nightwing The Leap Volume 4 dropped last week, but I can't open until Santa delivers them. Well, that's why you should be an elf, Ian. You can look at stuff.
That's right. You can jump ahead of the line here.
Yeah. You get an extra day or so. Wonka was magical. After realizing early on that it was going to be mostly a musical, I was a bit worried I wouldn't like it, but I was wrong. By the end, I was in love. Eric read The Devil Who Wears My Face #3 and Batman Santa Silent Night 2. Grab says McKay's first issue of Avengers was good too, if I remember. Oh yeah, he did the Avengers. Yeah, I forgot about that. I also read Blade #6, which was a good time. Keeping up with the festive theme we've got.
I was gonna say 6 issues of that already. Holy cow!
That's really just flying by. And I think I've said it before. If you like Blade, if you like anything about him, check out this book. It's great. And I think the highlight for me this week, though, was Beneath the Trees Where No One Can See #2.
Cherry fucking gherkins.
Yes. I think I read The Devil Who Wears My Face, but I honestly can't remember. So I'm not even going to mention it.
Yeah. Quickly on Devil Wears My Face 3. This was definitely a drop in the quality of the previous two for sure. It's not a bad issue, but the story is just going a little different for me. A little more... And there's weirdly a little more swashbuckling, like piratey. It feels like
swashbuckling.
I know that's when I was thinking about saying this. I was like, wait a second, that doesn't sound bad at all. But there's something about the issue that just didn't.
Swashbuckling Satan. What is the issue here?
It just didn't work for me as much compared to the first two either. So yeah, we don't have to spend too much time on Devil Wears My Face 3 because I would agree with you about Beneath the Trees. So
I know we gushed about it the first issue.
Yeah.
We talk about momentum with McKay. This one is on one heck of it. There's a line from the movie Kingpin. You're on a gravy train with biscuit wheels. That's kind of how I feel about this.
I love that.
It's a good line. Great movie too. Watch Kingpin if you haven't. But yeah, this is another fun issue from Beneath the Trees. There's more murder, and it's fun to see the town and the way they react to the first murder.
Mm-hmm.
And Cherry herself is quite a character.
Yeah.
I really like that a lot. And I also wonder if there's going to be a trend with the covers, kind of hinting at stuff.
Okay. Oh,
Cover.
yeah. I didn't
I don't
think
know
about
if everybody's read it or not, so I don't want to spoil anything.
that.
But it seems like the covers all have a character on the front.
I didn't think about that. Obviously, the first one's a little different.
Yeah, first one was doing because introductory. This is what it is.
So what's? I got to look ahead now to see who's on the third one. Yeah,
So
somebody
I'm
different.
just curious. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. I have nothing but good things to say about this book, though, and I know it's early on, but I just have nothing but good things to say.
Yeah, it's great. Like, and the mystery is really interesting. Like, what's the bear's name? You know, remember the bear's Sam. Like his monologue, I think, is really written really well. Her monologue is written very well. Thank you. I think their monologue is just keeps the idea of the two murderers, in the town, just keeps it moving really well. This isn't a new type of story either. Obviously, we've seen, Dexter or we've seen this type of story before, but just I don't know, something about the storytelling, something about the cute animals that just really is a huge selling point, and the art is great. It's like Arthur, like the TV show, where it looks like they're actual animals. It's not like, I don't know, weird oddly comparison where it's like SpongeBob, where Squidward doesn't look like an octopus, if you know what I mean. Like,
I didn't know he was an octopus.
Exactly. Like these characters look like if just animals just got up on their two legs and started walking and talking. That's what it looks like. So I like that aspect of it for some weird reason. The murder is great and the mystery is great. So yeah, I love the second issue. I liked it better than the first one, just to see more of the story moving. And seeing Cherry and everything that happens to her and happens inside the town in this issue, and just like the really quippy kind of dialogue that you get to see with her and others talking about her. I love this issue. I thought it was outstanding.
I also think that it was just kind of hilarious that they've created a small town feel with animals.
Exactly. It's like at a certain point it's not weird. Oh, that's fine. They're bears and rats and cats. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I wasn't even questioning them. This, like, one of the characters has a dog.
Yeah.
And I didn't even phase me this time. I was like, oh, okay. Some people evolve, some haven't, I guess. Some wear pants, some don't.
Yeah.
Perhaps there's a shit cloud coming. Yeah, Kingpin. Again, watch it, everybody.
There you go. Grabs is picking up what you're putting down.
He knows. I like my fiction look realistic. Well, if they were depicted more as, I guess, more animal-like, I don't think this would work the same way. Like, if Sam is walking on all fours and talking, you wouldn't buy the horror that she unleashes in the first issue.
100%. And even if it was like if they were animals but they weren't acting like humans, say they were just in the woods or in the forest, living regular human-y lives or animal
like
lives,
the Pooh kind of thing.
Exactly, it wouldn't work that way either. Having them act like humans and have that added aspect into it with the art, I just think is a really cool storytelling idea, and just helps the enjoyment of the book. Aside, like, even with the story that again is not a new type of story, but adding in the new art and the new characters and the way the animals talk and all that kind of stuff, it just adds to the enjoyment for me, anyways.
Murdery Arthur, I like it. You said if you like murder mystery comics where the body was great. I didn't get to this yet. I think you did.
I read some of it digitally. It doesn't come out in Canada until January 16th, which is incredibly annoying. So I haven't read I've read some of the digital. I'm going to wait for the physical though, just because it's harder to read. It's harder to read a bigger digital book sometimes on an iPad for me. So I'll just wait for the physical in about a month or so.
That's fair. I think that's all I read. Pretty sure that's all I got to.
City of Madness.
No, didn't get to it.
You so-and-so.
I know. I'll have time this week.
Fine.
Probably
it was very good. Anyways.
No. What did you read
Yeah.
other than City of
Yeah.
Madness, which was very good?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just mention City of Madness again. I remember when we read that first issue, whatever it was, a month or 2 months ago, that I felt like there was just a lot going on in that first issue. You had the Two-Face stuff, the Court of Owls stuff, the whoever this boy was. I just felt like there was a lot going on. So I gave the first issue a reread before I read the second issue, and that helped a lot in the enjoyment of both of the issues. I just think this book is very, very interesting with its mystery. Again, a story that we've seen before with these Court of Owls with a different other Gotham. That's not a new idea, but they're doing it in a different way with this Batman from below or Batman of below. I find it very interesting, and like Talon is a little more included in the second issue. And then I don't remember how much. I don't think he was barely in the first issue really at all. Just kind of talking.
Yeah,
talking to the head of the Court of Owls or whatever. But the stuff with Two-Face is really interesting. This idea of the voices inside Two-Face's head and the world inside of his head with the dual personalities is really interesting. And then in the second issue, we really get involved with the Gotham of below, and we get to find out kind of what it is and this, that, and the other thing. So I was really digging issue number 2. Christian Ward's art, I really love any of his art that he does. I actually bought the physical copies of these, but I bought the variant covers by Bill. What's his name? Bill. Long last name. Starts with yeah, that one. He did some Moon Knight a long time ago. Yeah. That's all I remember. Anyway, so I got the variant covers for the first 2 issues, and they're incredible. So City of Madness, of all the Batman books, like I know Gargoyle of Gotham is getting a lot of play right now, and a lot of love from a lot of people, and that's fine. But I find City of Madness just to be leaps and bounds more enjoyable for me. I'd have to think about what came out earlier in the year for Batman, aside from the ongoing title. I don't know if there was any other miniseries or one-offs or anything that came out earlier in the year. But right now, City of Madness is my favorite Bat book of 2023. I still got one more issue to go. It also feels like it could go on for a little while, like if they wanted it to, like if there was a sequel or if they spun it off into a 12-issue thing, a little bit different because they're doing the oversized issues right now. But it feels like the story has some weight to it with the Court of Owls again, and this the Gotham of below and the Batman from below or whatever. So yeah, really digging City of Madness. So Chris, I hope you get to it soon. I think you're gonna dig it just because it's got that Two-Face stuff that's pretty heavy in the second issue. That's really interesting.
That's usually all I need to sell me on something.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I'll get to it this week. I just didn't have time.
No worries. The other thing, I didn't read it yet, but I finally got it in the mail, was the third volume of the Black Hammer series, library edition. So it collects issues 1 through 12 of Black Hammer Reborn. So it's got the oversized pages, obviously. So Caitlin Yarsky is the artist on this one, and her art is incredible. If you don't like superhero books, and you only like reading comics books that are more realistic, or just you don't like cape and cowl stuff, I recommend Black Hammer greatly and incredibly for anything like that. If you don't want to read Batman, Superman, Iron Man, whatever. I got that in. I'm really digging the oversized issues, and I'm glad I can put it next to my other volumes 1 and 2 for Black Hammer. So got that in the mail. Just thought I'd give a shout out to Lemire and Caitlin Yarsky for Black Hammer.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it's a very cool book. Black Hammer is one of my favorite series, so I'm just happy to finally get the big. They call it a library edition. I don't know why it's library. It's kind of bigger and collected, but
I guess you would find it in a library,
I suppose. So that's all that I read this week, I think. Yeah.
Perhaps you should have also read 15 issues of Moon Knight.
Yeah, sorry, brother. Can't keep up.
I grabbed a few of the Black Hammer library editions. I need to start reading that again.
Nice.
I'll check it out at some point. I like Lemire stuff, but I haven't read as much as you have. But I do like what I've read.
Mm-hmm. They got a cool crossover too from a while back, Black Hammer, Justice League, where they switch places in their universes, which is kind of an interesting story. So if you ever want to check
cool.
that one out too, yeah.
Look into that.
Yeah, so that's all that I read this week. Chris, what you get up to for your watches? And we're going to talk about Merry Little Batman, maybe closer to the end, and probably won't have too much to say about it.
We'll leave that to the end.
What'd you watch this week?
I watched a few things. I watched Blade Trinity because, again, keeping up with the festive nature of things. That was fun. Ironically, I finally watched the finale for True Blood. Did not like that.
What? Why? What do you mean? You just watched it?
Well,
so what are you talking about here?
I watched the show as it was airing for like the first 3 or 4 seasons, and then I just dropped it completely. It wasn't my thing anymore. And then my wife decided to binge watch the entire series over the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured, well, if it's on anyway, I'm kind of curious what happened at the end anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched the final 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was not my favorite thing in the world. But now I know what happens. So I watched that.
That's good.
Yes. The highlight of my week, though, is Poor Things.
Mm.
Poor Things is a movie that I have waited for. Well, I've been anticipating since they dropped the first poster and trailer earlier this year.
Mm.
And the first stuff we saw of it was really vague, and it just looked weird.
Mm.
And that was really enough to sell me, because I think I tend to like quirky or weird things.
Yes.
I like them. And then the cast, of course, Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo, and Willem Dafoe were another reason that I was sold on it. And anyway, so I was pretty excited for this movie, and I finally got a chance to check it out on, it was Thursday or Friday. And I absolutely love this movie. It is so bizarre and wild.
Mm-hmm.
It's very unique. And I think I described it to you as it's what would happen if you let Frankenstein leave the castle.
That's what I was going to ask you. You need to remind me that's what this one is, right?
Yes, it's kind of what it's like. There is more to it, but if I were just to describe it in one sentence, that's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happens if you let Frankenstein leave the castle.
And not throw a girl into the water?
No.
I
mean, he thought he was playing with her. That's.
I know. Hey, I know. You don't have to sell me on it, man.
There's no judgment of the monster here. He was just doing monster things, having a good time. Mm-hmm. But no, there's no death. It's funny. It's got some heartfelt stuff that you wouldn't expect from it, really.
Mm.
Because the basic story, like I said, she's kind of like Frankenstein in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And you're watching her sort of evolve in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And you wouldn't expect the heartfelt stuff, but it's there. And some of the comedy in it is just odd. Like once you laugh at it, you think, wait, why am I laughing at this?
Right.
But it's really funny in a lot of spots. And the sets are very cool. So they don't specifically tell you what time period this takes place in, but it looks kind of like the Victorian era.
Okay.
And so you have, like, there's this particular scene where they're in a city and the city looks older, but then you have these sky blimps running across it, like on kind of a tram. Like a tram sort of system. Very, very different. And everything is very colorful, which is also strange. Like the sky will be the brightest blue you could put on camera, I think.
Right.
It's really well written, and it's also based on a book, which now I'm curious about the book, so I will be checking the book out at some point. I tried to see if
it's based off of a book.
Yeah, it's based on a book. I tried to see if it was on Spotify. It is not, so right. I will end up just buying that at some point.
That's interesting. Yeah. The trailer sold like that first one, sold the weird for a lot of people, like right out the gate. Hi, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and so like everything you saw in those trailers was pretty much it.
Yeah. Hold on. This is
Okay.
another Twitter comment.
Oh my God, it's happening.
So we've had 2 Twitter comments. I don't know what's changed over there, but I guess they fixed something because now you can comment from Twitter.
Somebody take a note.
That's cool. Anyway, yeah, it's basically what you see in the trailers, but weirder.
Okay.
Kind of like how I thought Dream Scenario was weird in trailers, and then it's even stranger when you watch it.
Hmm.
This is kind of like that, but a little different. Also, this has a length problem. You can feel the length, but you don't mind. I didn't mind it here. Whereas in Dream Scenario, I was kind of like, okay, this should have wrapped up. In this, I didn't mind it. So there's that too.
Just looking at the director from it, he did the Killing of a Sacred Deer,
Which
The
I was also a fan
Lobster.
of.
He's a big fan of Colin Farrell, obviously, for a couple of
Colin Farrell and Emma
his
Stone, I
movies.
think.
Yeah, Emma Stone's in The Favorite too, I think, right?
I want.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to say she's the lead in that as well.
I think so.
So
Nice.
they are familiar.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, it's probably one I check out when it's on streaming just to see what it's about. Yeah, sounds good. Oh yeah, Emma Stone's in her next one. Jesse Plemons, Willem Dafoe's in that one. So yeah, he's got his Christopher Nolan, Mike Flanagan crew of people that he likes to work with.
Yeah, Scorsese. They all have their groups.
they all have their groups. Yeah,
Everybody's got friends. Grab says, I watched the first 3 episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I almost forgot how many kids have to die at that school before the FBI shows up. The FBI never shows up. Spoiler. Some horrible things happen at that school. Once you get to season 3, horrible things happen.
More kids dying.
There is no FBI. There's no CIA. There's nothing. Like you watch that show now, and it makes even less sense how some things work. Like there's a nightclub for children
At the school?
Well, no, they in the town of Sunnyvale. They have a nightclub that all the high school kids go to, and it doesn't look like I don't know, like maybe a teenager's hangout.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a club where like Tiesto's about to show up, or some kind of grunge rock band that's gonna do something.
I remember that in One Tree Hill as well. They had like a club, and it seemed like there was like, if you go to one room over, there's some guy, working in a factory or something. Like wherever these kids are hanging out when they were in high school is a lot better than when I was hanging out when I was in high school.
Where are their parents?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess the same place as the FBI, not really caring what's happened to them.
It's like a grunge after hours party. Yeah, it's more grunge than Tiesto.
That sounds all right.
Like Bush will open there, and then like an Alice in Chains cover band will follow them up.
That's right.
And he might get Cradle of Filth just for kicks at the end.
Yeah, and those kids will be loving it after they'll be drunk after one beer, and oh man.
Yep, and their fancy cups. Those Sunnydale themed cups.
Sunnydale themed cups. Oh, yes. Buffy.
But anyway, Poor Things is the highlight of my watch week. I did rewatch. I watched a bit of a couple other things. I watched some of Strays again. It was just kind of like background noise. It's good. I enjoy that one just as background noise.
Mm-hmm.
I watched No 6 Feet Under again because I want to stay festive.
Yeah, I put 8-Bit Christmas on for a background noise a couple days ago. Man, that movie's so funny, so good.
It is.
Love 8-Bit Christmas. Yeah.
Did you see the Eddie Murphy Christmas movie on Amazon?
No. So my friend watched it and he said it was horrible, and I didn't even know that it was. I didn't even know that it was out. I didn't know that it was a thing. I didn't see anything about it, and then I forget what I was watching on Prime. Oh, I went to watch Reacher on Prime the other day. On Friday, I guess, and a trailer came up for Candy Cane, whatever. I'm like, oh, that's what that is. I'm like, okay, no, thank you. That's not for me.
Do you like Eddie Murphy stuff though?
Not overly. Like I'd have to really think about. Like my favorite Eddie Murphy movie would probably be Shrek. Like I don't like I never really liked Beverly Hills Cop. I didn't watch Trading Places or
hold on a second. Okay.
Yeah, like maybe I've
That's one of the
probably seen the first Nutty Professor. Eddie Murphy was never just a big person in my household. I never really enjoyed much of his stuff, and like his comedy, again, no, not really.
Oh, well then. Okay.
Yeah,
I like Eddie Murphy.
yeah, that's a lot of people do, and like he's a great renowned comedian, no doubt, and people
I think
love
he's
Beverly
good.
Hills Cop and like love Trading Places and all those movies. So yeah,
Yeah.
totally get it.
I think Coming to America is one of my favorites of his.
That's the other one I forgot to mention.
Yeah, I love Coming to America. But I would say my favorite is probably maybe Trading Places. I also really love Daddy Daycare, which I think most people do too.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a fun one.
Did you see the trailer for the new Beverly Hills Cop?
Yes, I'm very excited.
Yeah, it looks all right. I didn't watch the trailer because I wouldn't have any point of context for it, but I was just wondering if that looks like it's, should be, if it looks like it should
but
be.
like the trailer focuses just on the action, which I guess is fine. I suppose they want to kind of get the attention of someone who's not familiar with the franchise, considering the last one was released probably 20 something years ago.
Right.
And it wasn't well received because of the comedy.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that's why this one is a shift. But either way, I'm all in for it. I'm excited. I'm glad it's actually happening because they've tried to bring Axel Foley back in so many different projects. Like this Beverly Hills Cop 4 itself has been in development hell forever. Then they tried a TV series where it would be Axel and his son. I don't think that even made it to TV. They tried. But now we're back to this. So I'm cool with it.
They were surprised to see it on Netflix too, is the other thing.
Yeah, I thought it'd be on Amazon because I thought he had a deal with Amazon.
I thought Eddie was. Yeah, that's what I thought too. But yeah.
Ian says Eddie's hit or miss for me. The Nutty Professor is so funny. I like the first one. I don't really like the second one.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I like the first one as well.
Eddie says Reacher 2 is off to a fantastic start. Richardson is not. Oh, it's so great in the role. He recently said he wants to be Batman.
I saw that. He's too big to be Batman. Like he's huge in Reacher season 2.
He is.
He looks like Bane.
He is. Like if you want to have a different, okay, so Pattinson is not huge.
That's true. Yeah.
He is a smaller type of Batman, which is cool. I like that. If you wanted to have a large contrast between DCU Batman and Reeves Batman, this one is an action figure. This one is Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, well, he looks like when you think about Batman in comic books, most of the time it's just a suit. Like it's like a Kevlar thin suit. Yeah. It's not some padded thing. So like Richardson could do that. He could do it. He could look like Ben Affleck looked. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I like that idea. I don't know. I haven't really given much thought, but I love Alan Richardson in the role as Jack Reacher. And specifically, I've only watched 2 episodes of the second season so far. I think there's 3 out right now, but the show's great. I have a great time with the first season when it came out, and I love Alan Richardson. I think he's a sexy ass man, and he even better when he's beating somebody up. That's fine with me.
You like the violent?
I love Reacher
guys.
Yeah, violent, sexy guys. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay. I liked him in Titans.
Yeah,
he's good in Titans, and I've seen some of Reacher. I like that too.
Well, and as far as I remember from when I was watching Titans, he and Dove were some of the best parts of that show.
I think so. Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, when they left, it wasn't the same.
Yeah. That's the second time he told me to do that today.
I don't know. I guess he's just worried. He's a concerned friend. Yeah. So those were my watches. What did you get up to?
So I watched a couple of older things this week. I watched Starship Troopers, which I hadn't watched in a long time, and about 3/4 of the way through it, I'm like, I don't know how this movie ends. I kept thinking to myself, have I seen the end of this movie? Because I remember watching it, and I think it came out when I was in my teens, and I just remember the shower scene where they're all naked and be like, "Wow, this is the greatest thing in the world."
I've never seen it.
Yeah, so there's a shower scene where all the girls are all naked and everything. And
okay.
as a teenager, I thought that was obviously the coolest thing in the world. But on the other side of it, the CGI is quite bad, but for the time, it's probably really good. But it like the anti-war sentiment in it is very interesting, and like um, what the hell do you call it? The what do you call something with a war propaganda that's bled into the story. Um, it's very interesting. Neil Patrick Harris is kind of funny in it. But I remember I tweeted this out too. And like in a movie where it's made for people in their late teens, with I think are supposed to be a lot of good-looking people in this movie. There's not a single good-looking man in this movie. Clancy Brown's in it, and he's close. Close. It's like there's like the one of the side characters to the main character looks like Matthew Lillard's weird cousin.
I thought it is Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, exactly. Like even the main guy, he's a weird looking fella, and I don't know why I thought this. Maybe I was just very inebriated at the time. But in a movie that was sold for as young people, like it has Denise Richards in it.
Mm-hmm.
She's god awful, of course.
To be expected.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What do you expect from Denise Richards, right? But yeah, like some of the action's pretty cool, and like there's more to this story than the movie gets credit for. Like the idea of like and Grabs wrote there, the propaganda in the movie is very awesome. The way the story is told, the way war is told in the movie there's more to the movie than than the movie gets credit for, rather than a movie than I thought when it was a teenager where there was boobs and aliens and guns getting shot. So it's really interesting actually, and I think they made like 4 sequels or 2 or 3 sequels. So I never saw a lick or a minute of those.
I think they were all direct to video.
I would think that to be true. So I actually wondered what the second one would be like, the closest one to it, if they just went straight for the action and the aliens, or they kept up with the war propaganda and that kind of stuff. So yeah, Starship Troopers, haven't seen that movie in whatever 15, 20 years. So that was quite the time.
Ian said I attended a watch party earlier this year where we watched Starship Troopers. The CGI still looks decent. It's still a pretty good movie. I thought it would have aged poorly. Do you agree with that? The CGI
I don't think the CGI is that good, but it's not bad either. But I was surprised as well that when I was watching, I'm like, this isn't that bad. Like there's some weird, goofy moments in it, but the story and the bugs and again the propaganda, there's just more to that movie. And I think it was a great time. I didn't know there was a cartoon though.
Okay, I was saying I didn't know it was a cartoon. How do you make? Well, I guess in the 80s everything had a cartoon, so it would make sense. Something like Starship Troopers, which looked like a movie from then, would have an animated series too.
Yeah.
Guys, there's a 90-minute shower scene where once they finally got clean, they stepped on cockroaches. I don't even know what you guys are talking
about. That's not anything that's in the movie. The shower scene's not 90 minutes. I would they do step on cockroaches though.
I'd say I'd eventually watch this, but I've never had any interest in Starship Troopers.
I think you'd probably like it. I think you would find. I think you'd find it pretty good. Mm-hmm.
Well, if it's streaming, maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, I watched. Oh shoot, Netflix. I think is where we had it on up here.
I'd imagine it's not very long either.
No, I don't think so. An hour and maybe an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. Yeah,
I can do that.
Yeah.
Because the sequel I want is.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to manifest something over there.
Yeah, he is. He's manifesting on Sundays. The other thing that I watched was Terminator 2. I don't know why I do this sometimes, where there's 4. Like, I guess we kind of talked about this a couple weeks ago, where you feel like there's not any other movies in the series, and you just watch one. There is more. There is better. There is good movies in the Terminator series, but T2 is just incredible. Like again, this is nothing new, but it's such a good movie. Linda Hamilton's a little bit over the top at times. Edward Furlong again a little bit over the top at times, but the action is very good. The CGI, speaking of CGI, like the movie came out in 1997, I think 97.
T2? No, it came out in 92, I think.
No, T2 in 92.
I think it was 92.
Makes some kind of sense to me. The CGI from 1992 that they managed to do with like the T1000 and everything with that, incredible stuff. And then it just made me think about watching more of the Terminator series. Yeah, 91. There you go. So I almost put on Genesis the other day. Almost put on Genesis the other day, and then I thought better of it.
It's fun.
And that's kind of what I thought too. I watched the trailer for it, and I'm like, oh, this doesn't look so bad. But then I just thought about the guy playing John Connor, and I just couldn't do it.
That guy was.
It just bothered me.
Where is that guy?
I don't know. I forget what his name is. He was in Oppenheimer this year. He was the annoying guy in that small room with Oppenheimer and being annoying as hell. That guy is.
So he's good at it, I think.
Yeah, he's good at being hated. That's for sure. But then maybe just think about watching Dark Fate, which I think is the second best Terminator movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love Dark Fate so much. But I am going to get to Genesis because I remember watching it in theaters, and I remember once the John Connor thing happened in Genesis, be like, that's it, I'm out of here. Just couldn't do it after that, but I do want to give it another chance, see what Emilia Clarke is like as Sarah Connor, Jai Courtney as Kyle Reese, and of course old Schwarzenegger as the Terminator.
As young Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, that's the one where he beats up his younger self from the first Terminator. So. Yeah, that's right.
I like Dark Fate, but it is it's a messy little thing there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like it too. I remember watching that in the theater and being amazed by it.
Yeah, and well, that's the other thing. Like I was watching it, and I hadn't up until this point been amazed by T2. I don't think. I think I'd enjoyed it and thought it was a cool movie, but I start to really, the more you watch things and you focus on more things, I was amazed by it and and laughing a lot of times too. There's a lot of good humor in T2. I remember the scene in the hospital where they're breaking Sarah out. And the orderlies are all attacking them, and he throws the one guy against the wall, and his head bounces off the wall, and makes a really funny sound. And then he does it later on too, in another time. Just something funny about being thrown against the wall and their heads bouncing off the wall, and I don't know, something funny about that scene made me laugh.
I think the way that Arnold or the Terminator just throws people around, there's something funny about it because
yeah.
I don't know what it is. And if it was another actor, it wouldn't play the same. But because it's Arnold, it's like, that is great.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've said it before, I like pretty much anything Arnold does, including when he fights Satan and wins.
Sure.
And End of Days. It's just fun to watch him do stuff. And T2 is magical.
Well, again, he's on the motorcycle and George Thorogood, Bad to the Bone. That's so 90s. Right, but it's like, oh man, George Thorogood, awesome! I'll take it.
It's great.
Yeah.
Watching T2 immediately after watching the Terminator the next day makes it even better. Making Arnold the good guy in 2 is brilliant. The funny thing about that is I actually hadn't seen Terminator. Of course, when T2 came out, I was 5 when I went to the theater and saw it.
Right.
But Terminator, I didn't actually know existed. Until a couple of years later, and it was even longer before I watched it. I think I was an adult when I watched it. And there are days I actually prefer the first one over T2 because the first one plays more like a horror movie.
Well, specifically the ending too, when they're in the factory, and the things like crawling and
it's pretty dark. So depending on the day you ask me, I'm good with either one of them, but maybe I like one more than the other. Great, they're a great duo there, though.
Well, I was wondering, a couple of weeks ago we talked about when Nick Cage made his weird switch to being weird in movies, what the reaction was to that. I wonder what the reaction to T2 was like after seeing Terminator 1 with the switch of Arnold being the good or the bad guy. So
it's called Terminator 2. You didn't know the first one. It was called T2.
Yeah. He was 5, God damn it.
Leave me be.
Give the little kid a break, Ian.
I just thought it was amazing. I had the toys. It was great. I didn't know the first one was a horror movie and all that. I didn't know who Kyle Reese was. I didn't care. Edward Furlong was my dude.
Oh, Edward Furlong.
I love this scene when the shotgun is in the roses. It was really cool.
Yep.
All right. It's a movie before D2. The Mighty Duck. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
You guys.
Yeah.
Anyway.
so that's pretty much all I watched. Kind of that, but my son and I watched Merry Little Batman this morning. Actually, he had a great time with it. He watched it all the way through. I think for him, I think the art style is what he likes. He's been watching a lot of SpongeBob lately, so this kind of art style is more or less like that. Weird looking characters. For me, those weird looking characters are not it. Alfred looks like an old man's balls. He does not look like a real person.
Was not expecting that one.
Yeah, like just not great. The bearded Batman, no thank you. Luke Wilson as Batman, no thank you. Joker, no thank you. Some of the cutesy moments are okay. Like towards the end of it, Damien's like, "Oh, I'm not any kid," or I'm your kid, or I'm Batman's kid, or something like that. Some good stuff like that. Some funny moments even at the start of it when he's chasing around the cat, which is named Selena, which is kind of fun. The movie is not for me though. It's not for my age range, for me personally. But my son had a great time with it, so I think we'll probably watch it again. Next Christmas, because I think he had a really good time with it. What about you, Chris? What do you think?
Well, so my expectations were really low when I decided to watch it because cutesy Batman isn't my thing, really.
Right.
I do prefer a darker version of the character, a more adult version. Not saying I like him murdering somebody or something, but it's like Batman animated series or the Nolan trilogy. That's kind of the tone I like. And I haven't even seen the Brave and the Bold animated series. Really, I've seen a couple episodes. Just not my thing. So I didn't have high expectations going into this. I actually wasn't going to watch it.
You were saying that for a long time too.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm out. This is not for me. And then my buddy, a friend of the show, Phil Walsh, watched it, and he said it's really not that bad. I was like, well, okay, because he and I share a very similar opinion. So I checked it out, and I was sort of wrong because I did find some stuff funny.
Yeah,
I loved all the nods to other Batman media.
Right.
I'd say that was my favorite thing about it. Were all the nods. I also did not like the animation. I don't know if I do agree. Alfred doesn't look like a person.
Yeah. Why does, and like even the other ones, like Joker, why does he look like that? Like his shoulders, he's constantly like this with his arms, and his shoulders are like pointed up over his ears at some points. It's just like, what do you? But then I guess because they're old. But then when there's that quick little flashback when they're younger, where Bane doesn't have all those fucking veins all over his arms, and Joker looks pretty good. But like the Penguin in a scooter and just looking not great, man.
The scooter thing, I was like, what? But it has some fun stuff in there, and I do like the father-son stuff in it.
Yeah. I
love the character of Damian Wayne. I don't like this Damian Wayne.
It's not Damian Wayne. That's Batman's son.
Yeah, this is kind of like Gotham Knights when they gave him a different kid. But they do mention Talia, which is funny. So,
yeah. What did they say about her?
She's a complicated supervillain or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So it wasn't for me either, but that's fine. It's not aimed at me. It's aimed at kids, and I think it's doing the job. Hopefully kids enjoy this and they see it and they're on board with the character because that's what it's for.
Yep. Totally.
I'm happy. I'm really happy that it exists for kids to watch it and enjoy it because there's not a lot of Batman media they can watch and it's their thing, So like we can watch the Batman, we can watch the Nolan movies, all that, and it's good with us. Yep. But the kids, it's a little harder. So.
And Batman at Christmas is always a good time too.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know if there's been a Christmas Batman since Christmas with the Joker. Anything? Anybody else in the chat about animated or?
Well, there was Noel, of course, but like animated, I'm pretty sure the Batman cartoon had the Christmas episode.
Okay,
It would have had to. It ran for a really long time.
that's true.
Bill says Batman decked the halls with justice. Yeah, the Christmas aspect was nice. Also, I did. I thought the kind of wacky nature of the finale was cool with the snow globe. That
Snow
was
globe,
neat. I did like the Batman design, other than the beard kind of not fitting it. Like his face didn't fit.
To hear.
Do you remember that Batman meme that was like he was like in a rock band and he would like scream? It was like death metal.
No.
It was a very popular thing that went around, and that's what this Batman looked like. And I didn't mind Luke Wilson as the voice actor. I was fine with that. Actually, the whole voice cast was good with me.
Yeah, it's weird to see James Cromwell as Alfred. That wouldn't have been like his voice is so old. It matches the old Alfred, I suppose. But
I mean, Alfred looks kind of like a corpse.
Yeah.
Also,
like
it was
that.
too long.
Yeah. Yeah, was it? Yeah, I was wondering that too. Like, but it felt like it should have ended, and then it just didn't. Like when Alfred picks up Damien or something, and they're supposed to be walking to the car, and then the balloon comes. And it knocks Damien. I'm like, oh, there's still more to this. Yeah, I like Damien's suit with the kind of the Bat Dad talking thing. I thought that was okay. I thought that was kind of fun. Yeah, it was okay. Just it's not for me, but I have a son and he'll watch it, so that's okay by me.
Yeah, and he'll probably also watch the series that's coming.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. If you get shorter versions of this, maybe that would be all right as well.
I'm out, but not for me. I'll wait for Cape Crusader.
Yeah, keep waiting.
I will, as long as it takes.
Who the hell knows?
Whatever it takes, I'll wait.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
Father, I thought you'd be fatter. Forget taller.
Yeah, so that's Merry Little Batman. We've watched it, and one half of us will not watch it again. So what do you got going on this week, Chris? You got some Christmas plans? Christmas things going on this week?
I have some last minute gifts to take care of, which is going to be a blast. And I want to squeeze in some Christmas activities, so I'll probably go check out some lights or something like that. That's pretty much my week.
Specifically, we're talking about snow, but you have Christmas lights. Feels like they have to go together up here. It's like if you have your Christmas lights on and there's no snow, it just feels weird. So I don't know. Just from my experience, just kind of a weird thing. Yeah. You gonna get to Wonka this week?
Yes, I will get to Wonka. Yeah, Wonka is. We need to go visit Santa still. So the idea is the full day is supposed to be Santa and Wonka.
Yeah, we're gonna go see Wonka on Tuesday, I think.
I think we're going Monday or tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm not sure yet.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm very excited for Wonka, especially with all the good reviews that's been getting from friends of ours.
Surprising reviews, even from not our friends, but from the general people's.
I expected
kind of surprised by them. Did you? Okay.
Yeah, I've been really excited for it. I'm great.
Yeah, so that's just more Christmas movies here. I'm gonna watch Muppets Christmas Carol, Christmas Vacation, that kind of thing. We have a Christmas trivia tomorrow that the wife and some friends and I are going to, so that should be fun. But yeah, it's a week away. Feels like
it's here.
Creeping up on us. So so guys, no show next week because it's Christmas Eve, and then no show the week after that as well because it's New Year's Eve.
The Eve.
Yeah, the Eve. So just for myself, this is the end of Gathering of the Geeks for 2023. So for all of our peoples that watch on Sundays, you guys in the comments, Eric, Phil, Zeddy, Ian, Grabs, Cookie, he's usually here. If you're check us out on the replay, Cookie, please do. Everyone else too, who don't even watch all the time, but then sometimes they pop in and sometimes they don't. Chris from Lost in Comics, anybody who's watching, anyone who watches any moment of our show throughout the year of 2023, just want to say thanks, and have a good New Year's, have a good Christmas. And on top of that, Chris and I were both on Lost in Comics nomination shows this past Thursday and Friday. So I just want to say thanks again to Chris from Lost in Comics for having us on. Chris, any parting words, and then hit us up with some of your plugs.
I'm just going to co-sign what you said. That was all good stuff. Thank you guys, and happy holidays and all that. As far as plugs go, I just want to keep it simple. You guys can follow me on Twitter, that Chris70. I do a bunch of stuff. It's on there.
You can follow me on Twitter at EmmetDavis7. Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Just search Gathering of the Geeks, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks so much for watching this year, guys. We'll check you out in 2024. So, in saying all that, for Chris and I'm Emmet, and we gather on Sundays.
I don't have a fun exit intro, so happy holidays, everybody.